Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Excited about the ongoing projects. How are you doing?
Good, good. Let's just wait maybe 1 minute more. Hola from Chile. Hola.
Hola.
Goes Dive in Korea is also joining.
Hello.
Your colleagues. Hi.
Hi.
Nice. Okay, let's just start. And as this is recorded, anyways, we will put it in the feed afterwards. So if someone could not join, that's not a problem because we will be able to see it in the feed afterwards.
Right.
So I hope everyone is doing great, as well as you guys and also our audience today. I'm Isadora. I'm the social media manager at HealthySeas. And I'm super happy to have today Ghost Diving at Poland in our live session. We're making lives quite regularly, and today with the team in Poland of Ghost Diving with Bartek, Bernabe, Darek, and Krzysiek. HealthySeas is partnering since 5 years now with Ghost Diving Poland, and Ghost Diving Poland is a association where passionate divers come together and dive in the Baltic Sea to recover abandoned ghost nets from the sea. So abandoned fishing nets, meaning ghost nets from the Baltic Sea. And let's just start into the questions. I would say I prepared some. If the audience has some questions, you can also drop them in the comments, and then we will see who can answer them. So first one is to Darek. Bartek, if you could give Darek the phone.
Hello.
Hello. So Darek, can you explain us where you were diving in the last 2 days, because you had a mission? So what kind of spot is it? What is the history of this wreck, and why did you go to this wreck in the last 2 days?
Okay. So during last 2 dives, we've been visiting the shipwreck from 19th century, which is called Napoleon. It's not the original name. The name is coming just from the period. Most likely the shipwreck was sunk. It means 19th century. And most likely the wreck is coming exactly from this period of the earth. Why we've dived on the Napoleon? Because we found in the number of footage and videos that the wreck, which should be very interesting, is totally covered by ghost nets, which were just hanging on the hull from both sides, and we also saw some entangled fish in the footage we saw, not made by us, but by the other divers. And this led us to go there to see and to first make a mapping and decide what we can do with the wreck and how can we help with recovering the recovering the ghost nets. What's also very interesting that this wreck is covered, and the bottom is covered with the copper plates. So also from the historical point of view, when we managed to discharge and clean up the wreck, I think everyone will be able to see the beautiful copper plates and the entire wreck, as it is really quite nice. So that was the main purpose.
Amazing. Did you already recover nets in the last 2 days?
Yeah, we will show you some pictures. We manage a bit, but I think there is really a lot to do. But we see that it's really worth to go so deep because the wreck is on the 56 meters in the bottom. On deck is on the 46 meters. So the average we can counter it's approximately 50 meters. So it's quite deep for the operations, but I think it's really worth to do the good job over there.
Yeah, nice. And so knowing now about the depth of the operation, that it's actually a quite big mission, I wanted to ask Zizek, who is the main person of the dive center. I don't know if he's there.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So Krzysiek, yes, you are kind of the person of the dive center, providing the gases and managing the logistics. And I wanted to ask if you could guide us how the typical preparation for such a mission looks like. Like, for example, for the last 2 days, how did you organize it all?
Okay, so the first thing is to take the list of the group of the volunteers, the people who want to go with us, and then we need to check the all of equipment what we need for this lot of person, and the most important is to prepare the gases for the Napoleon. We use trimix, so we need to prepare a lot of bottles with trimix, and also something for the compression, the nitrox, and also some gases to inflate the lift bags. So we have a lot of logistics with preparing equipment and gases. But this is not everything, because we also need to organize the boat. We need to prepare everything on the boat. We need to prepare things to cut and lift bags. So we have a lot of things to prepare. But we have good team. We are person that they know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone has own rules, and we are a good team. Yeah, what I can say more. Yeah, but what is most important, that on the Baltic Sea, the most important is the weather.
Mm.
Always the weather is the biggest unknown, and we need to check the weather for sure one day before, not faster, not earlier.
Yeah, so it makes it very difficult also in advance to plan a mission, because it can always happen that we cannot go, we need to go in 1 week. And also it sounds like some people would imagine maybe when they go on a diving cleanup mission, they go just there on the day where it happens, and then you spend the day on this mission and then you go home. But as it sounds, it's like several hours or maybe days before to prepare everything. So I think it's a really big job. So thank you. And the next question I have is to Bartek.
Hello again.
Hello again. So next to the marine conservation side of taking the nets, where you already said before that there are animals entangled in it, what is the other aim of the missions that you do in Ghost Diving Poland? Why do you use nets?
So our primary goal is to help the marine life, just as you said. And Baltic Sea is full of wrecks. Actually, the bottom here is not that much attractive because it's relatively flat. It's sand or silt, and there is not much marine life around. But on the other hand, there are many wrecks from different periods of time. In our area, most of the wrecks are from the Second World War, but there are also wrecks that are older or more recent. But the big problem, especially in our area, around Gdańsk and the Bay of Gdańsk, is that those wrecks are typically covered, like literally covered with ghost nets hanging on them.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple layers sometimes. So the attractiveness of diving here is a bit reduced, because how many wrecks you can visit and they will look pretty much similar or even the same, because you constantly see the nets and sometimes something sticking out from the cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
so this is the aspect that we also started to focusing on, also recovering a little bit of the history behind those wrecks, because these are also, you know, monuments of the history, and we would like to just better conserve and better document and explore this history.
Yeah.
And also promote diving in the Baltic Sea in general, because okay, it's cold, it's dark, but it can be exciting and really beautiful. So Darek mentioned about our new project on this wreck of Napoleon. I can show you 2 photos. This is before, so just a curtain of nets hanging on the copper hull.
Yes, you can really see it, and you can actually also see that there is overgrown stuff on it. So actually you could think that it's not an active net, right? Because it looks very overgrown, at least here on the camera.
Yeah, that is very typical. The mussels we have here develop quite fast, and they colonize the nets. So from the outside, you might say that it's like an artificial reef, and it's actually good. But once you look closer, or you lift first layer of those nets, you can see that underneath there are plenty of fish entangled and dying. And then we have seals, birds, and so on. We will probably touch this subject as well. But what we are trying to do from like conservation point of view, also in the aspect of history and wrecks, is to turn the wrecks into this. So here you can see the photo of the copper plating of this wreck that we started cleaning up with the draft marks.
What are draft marks? Can you explain that? What does the 30 mean?
So Darek, you'll be the better person.
These days, everything is in the metrics, but I presume that in this period of time, so in 19th century, the majority was in imperial. So we think that the 30 means 30 foot as a depth, and we saw both on the bow and on the stern part. So yes, we are quite excited, as Bartek said, to finish this project and to see a bit more from this copper plates and copper bottom of the wreck.
Amazing.
So yeah, this is why also next to marine conservation, we are cleaning up those wrecks.
Yes, nice. Okay, but coming back to marine conservation, marine science, I would like to talk with Bernabe, our favorite scientist. Could you explain us why, from an ecological point of view, you want to remove nets from the Baltic Sea? What's the downsides of it, and why to remove them? What does it make with the marine environment?
Yeah. So these man-made structures create a habitat, as Bartek said. The Baltic Sea is mainly sandy or soft bottom. So this hard substrate, which is artificial, creates some kind of three-dimensional structures, and many animals start colonizing this. So at first, you have, I don't really like to say good or bad, so it can be beneficial for some organisms, and these wrecks can serve as refugia for fish, for example, and new space to be colonized for other organisms such as hydrozoans, which are colony-forming organisms, or even mussels. But the thing is that with time, these nets will get accidentally entangled, and you have all these organisms that can also grow on top of the nets, but you also have larger marine fauna that starts to get entangled, and it creates this kind of chain of events because some cod can get entangled, and there might be some seals around, and they will feel or sense the cod or even see it, and they're gonna try to get it because it's food, and by accident they can also get entangled, and so on and so on. So it's a whole chain of events. Sometimes we manage to see fish that is entangled and still alive, and we can still manage to release them, but some other times they are already dead. And there's a very dramatic image that Bartek collected last week during a very deep dive, and you can see the seal, a large seal, no, actually like a juvenile seal, dead, and recently dead, because the whole texture of the body still is, let's say, fresh. So some other times you can have scavengers that are actually taking this carcass as a food, but some of these species might be protected or under danger of not, I wouldn't say extinction, but in some kind of danger of reducing population. And so these nets are actually generating additional problems to the population, to population level. So yeah, that's one of the most important aspects of it. One of the things that we do is, once we collect and we surface the nets, we try to remove any mobile organisms back to the sea, so they can keep on living. And yeah.
And in the Baltic, the nets, are they mostly also made of nylon, of plastics? Is that what you encounter there? Because I could imagine that, like in other seas of the world, the modern fishing equipment is plastic, and this also leads to microplastics, which in turn has also the cycle of problems.
Yeah, so you have this kind of degradation of any kind of plastic material. We have many sorts of nets, from very thin nylon ones, which are also very problematic to cut and can even create some additional problems for us. And sometimes we can find really thick fishing gear. So we have different sizes, different materials. Ideally, we try to remove them all.
Yeah.
And also, with different materials, you have different dangers as well to any sort of marine species.
Thank you, Bernabe, for that introduction. So the next one, and the next question would be again to Bartek. I have a question about the seal that Bernabe already mentioned. So last week you found this horrible and sad scene on one of the wrecks that you were diving. If you could guide us through this dive, bring us with you. I know that it's a very sad and dramatic scene, but in the end, maybe it's good for everyone to know how such a dive goes, like just, yeah, because it's public, raising awareness, right? So
Yeah, briefly. So that was not supposed, was supposed to be just a fun dive. It was not a ghost diving project. We were just diving with Krzysiek on another project, just documenting and diving the wrecks from the Second World War here around. And by the 5th minute of the dive at the bottom, we were actually just swimming around the wreck, and at one point Krzysiek showed me something at the bottom next to the wreck. It was not actually on the wreck itself, but on the bottom next to the wreck. And yeah, we saw a seal, and at the beginning it was like very shocking experience, because it was a big adult seal, the size of a man easily. And at the beginning we hoped still that it might be alive, but it was actually too late to help, so we just decided to document it. And then the regular fun dive turned into GhostNet's documentation because we would like to address this particular wreck and those particular nets in one of our future projects.
Okay. Yeah, that's very sad. And actually, yeah, it shows once again that it's not only the cod and the small fish, but it's like from the smallest fish that you can find or crustacean till the large seals that are endangered by these deadly ghost nets.
Yeah, and this seal you can see it on our socials. We posted it yesterday and today on Facebook and Instagram. The most like traumatizing fact is that it was really a fresh carcass. It died maybe a few days before we dove it. It was not like only skeleton or like, you know, just flesh deteriorating after months or years or just, you know, really recent tragedy.
Yeah. How do you cope with this emotional baggage that you have on your shoulders after such a dive, after encountering these marine animals that are harmed by human activities, by lost fishing gear?
Well, as we mentioned before, we try to save all animals that still have a chance to be saved. So this is on, you know, the other spectrum, the other side of the coin, because every animal that we release, small or big, gives us a lot of motivation and positive vibrations, showing that it's actually, you know, the work we are doing work. Also diving the wrecks after we clean them up from nets gives also a lot of positive vibes, because like one of the wrecks that we cleaned up maybe 3 years ago, I remember myself diving it first time, second time, third time with the nets on it. Most of the fish that we were encountering were actually half dead or dead in the nets. And now you can actually see small codfish enjoying the cavities and little structures of the wrecks, which is a fantastic feeling. You know, it used to be a house of death, and now you can see life on it.
Oh.
But of course, it's, as I said, it's quite traumatizing when you see a dead seal, a dead fish, when you see a fish that you are trying to help and in the end it dies. But we just hope that the next dive we can do something more, something better, and eventually release or save as many animals as possible.
Nice. Thank you for telling us about this motivation. Next one, I would like to ask Bernabe once again. What does motivate you to join the cleanups in the Baltic Sea? So what motivates you to take multiple days off from your work and spend your free time in this cold, murky water instead of relaxing at the sea?
Well, that's precisely the reason why I do it. Because I don't really enjoy taking time off. I prefer to take it time on. And for me, joining the crew of Ghost Diving Poland has been a huge pleasure. And I feel blessed to be part of a team. It's a growing team. And also you mentioned like a challenging environment and murky waters and cold waters, and that's exactly what I like to do. I really like cold places and challenges, and I always prefer to dive with a mission. So it's either taking samples for doing a scientific dive, or documentation, or filming. So here, when I dive with Ghost Diving Poland, I have a mission, and we alternate the roles. Sometimes we're inflating the bags, sometimes I'm cutting, sometimes I'm filming, and so I like these dynamic activities. yeah, for me it's a win situation because I'm not only practicing I'm not only improving as a diver, I'm also learning to be aware of like situational awareness needs to be 100%, and team awareness needs to be 100%. And we are doing a really risky job, so we need the proper tools and we need the proper planning. And for me, that's yeah, exploration and challenges is what I'm always looking forward to do.
Very nice. And from a scientific point of view, around ghost nets, do you think there is enough data to know like what would be solutions? What are the main problems? Where are the main problems? Or do you think that there is a lack in data in science around ghost nets, maybe in the Baltic, but also around the world?
Well, we are acquiring a lot of footage, for example, and using some kind of logging. So we have a map with all the wrecks, and we have a list of how much job is there to be done. But sometimes some new nets may get entangled. So, most of the times these nets have been there for a while. So for us, it's just our job is to report all this, and we cannot really do much more than that. The other kind of also we can raise awareness with kids, with the community in general, but the end point is to be the actual fishermen which are using the nets to fish, and yeah, that's up to the let's say the government to put some action on it.
Yeah.
So we can provide information, but then the rest somebody else needs to work on it.
Yeah. Tackling the problem at its root is quite difficult, but I think it's a very promising strategy because you can tackle it from the beginning on. And now talking still about solutions, I would like to talk with Darek, who is a local. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was born even in Tricity. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yep.
So, especially around your area, which long-term solutions do you think would there be for the problem of ghost nets?
Well, I think first of all, the continuation of our activity as ghost diving on two fields. One, of course, on the actions. Still diving in the Baltic Sea, still picturing and footing and then presenting the pictures and the movies from our actions to show the people the problem, but also to continue our educational activity, what we do together with the HealthySeas and the support of HealthySeas on a yearly basis to teach children, to show the other people which are not completely linked with the sea or marine life, where we discovered to them the problem of the pollution and the ghost nets. Very often it's really a surprise, big surprise to them that that problem really exists. So yeah, I mean, there is no golden rule to fix it. I think it's not only the Baltic Sea problem, but also a worldwide problem. But the job we do on the both sides, I mean, the education and real activity, that's the only solution.
Yeah.
Most likely, in the end, the young generation will realize that to minimize the consumption of the fish on the what is in the sea, and the attention of the sea life, which is a part of our, I think, existence on the earth. Yes, will count, and so will bring some better solutions.
Beautiful. Thank you. And to Krzysiek? Hi. I wanted to ask you, like, we already heard that you find many different kinds of nets, like from small, like thin gill nets to bigger ones and ropes and whatever. So quite a lot. And in all of that, from the diver's perspective, what are the biggest challenges that you are facing while diving in areas where you need to recover really old nets that are entangled in shipwrecks?
Okay, so from the diver's perspective, we when we find sometimes thin nylon nets, then we cannot see it from the distance, so it can be dangerous for divers. The other problem is when we have some old nets and a lot of layers of the nets. When we want to take some nets, we find the next layer under, and this is a lot of job to do. And from the divers perspective, all nets are danger, and everything what we need to do is and we want to do is clean up and leave the wreck without any nets, any type of nets, and then it's better for the for the previous divers. They cannot stuck, and also for the marine life, of course. So yeah.
Is there any requisite, any requirement that the boat needs to have to join a cleanup operation? Like, because I imagine that the nets are super heavy, no?
Yeah.
It's difficult to lift them on
Yeah.
the boat.
So the first thing is the space of the boat, because we cannot do this from the rib, from the fast boat, because there is no space for the nets what we recover. And so this is the first thing. And if the boat has some kind of lift, it's also big advantage, because then we don't need to use our hands to take it from the water. So this is the important things. And also is important to have some volunteers, some crew member on the boat who can work with the nets, because divers after a dive, they shouldn't take the nets from the water, because it's risk of decompression sickness. So that's the things.
A lot of manpower needed. Okay, nice. If I could ask Darek one final question before we conclude the live. So I've heard from some people, and even from our diving project manager, Ben, that you guys are like a family. Like, if you join Ghost Diving Poland, if you come to visit, it's like you feel like you're all together, and it's like really teamwork, and the group is super close. So I wanted to ask, how important do you think that teamwork is in such sometimes difficult diving operations, and if you could share some memory of teamwork that you had during your dives?
Yeah. Well, I think, in my opinion, it's crucial. The teamwork and good atmosphere is the most important for the good projects, which are very demanding and, as Bernabe said, very dangerous as well. So if we feel comfortable and we have a trust to each other, that's, I think, the most important. And you're right. I mean, we get the same feeling to be really a big family. Because we can rely on each other, we trust each other, and the team is not only under the water, because we are all the GUE divers, and we know how important it is to do the dive in a good team, and what does it mean teaming under the water. But I think what's the most important, what comes the most here in our chapter, is the teaming and before and after the dive. So how we support each other on the boats before the dive, after the dive. really sometimes you can imagine that it's sort of take caring of each other. Yes, how they been tied on the lifts, and we lead them to the bench. We assist them in each and every movement. We are not leave the dive alone. And there was a project which we did together with WWF Germany, and one of the impression we had in the end, and guys, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic how you behave and how you support each other in each and every moment of the dive, as I said, before, during, and after. And I think that's it's one of the most beautiful thing which I think we built here, and that's why we want to dive each other during the project, but not only, also for fun dives.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Very nice. I think this is the best end of this life. It leaves every one of us with hearts. And I just wanted to greet back Ryan Turm, and there was someone else that is sending greetings from Turkey.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the live with us. And I wanted to thank personally also, and as HealthySeas Goes Diving Poland, for the partnership that we are having since 5 years. We're really super happy to work together to clean the seas, to trust also what you were saying. We trust in the good of you, and that you really do it for the sake of doing something good to the sea and to the ocean. So thank you very much. Oh, I see more faces.
We also thank you.
We got some volunteers looking forward to diving tomorrow because we are on the project, as you mentioned. So we are getting ready.
Okay.
So observe, follow us on socials because a pack of nice pictures from Mariusz is going to be released soon.
Great. And
thank you very much for time and for those who've been listening to us. And we also passing our greetings to all of them and to you.
Thank
you very much for inviting us.
Thank you, and take care in the next mission, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.